Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Current Economy and Investments Insights. Today is November 16, 2020. I'm Ron Jankowski with Channel 4 and Palos Heights. And of course, we usually have Paul Munico from Ameriprise. And Paul is keeping distance from the studio. And he is in his studio at home. And we will be 6 miles apart rather than only 6 feet apart. Paul is staying safe with us, and we are going to be the same with him. Paul is going to give us an update as to what took place in the marketplace, and I will be right back after him to give you the latest as of this morning. So take it away, Paul.
Will the markets once again look past near-term economic challenges? That's a question I've been getting a lot. And most likely, yes, in our view. In early spring, the stock market had already begun its recovery before the second quarter, and its economic plunge had even started. In retrospect, the divergence isn't that surprising, given that stock prices typically reflect the conditions investors expect in the future rather than the present. We believe it was appropriate to review that narrative again today. COVID-19 cases are surging in nearly every corner of the United States, as they have been in Europe and other places as well. States and local jurisdictions are starting to re-implement restrictions on certain businesses' activities as a result, and consumers appear to be returning to more cautious behavior as well. Most medical experts believe we are still early in the current surge. Additionally, consumers have been left to face this viral assault with little to no remaining fiscal stimulus support. As such, economic activity, particularly at the consumer level, is likely to wane over the next few months in our view. However modest, declines in the real consumer spending had already been factored into our real GDP estimates we provided for November and December. Further, the very positive recent news related to vaccines and treatments should provide solid support to investor sentiment through this period. We still believe another federal stimulus package to be very likely, but the size, timing, and specifics remains very uncertain. If the next round should arrive by mid-Q1, early part of next year, it would likely arrive just as vaccines are becoming more widely available and the consumer virus concerns are fading. Though we expect real consumer spending to contract modestly in November and December, Q4 real GDP should remain solidly positive. In our view, and our current estimate is a positive 3.4%, we entered the fourth quarter with strong momentum, particularly at the consumer level. Next week, retail sales for October are widely expected to post a strong month-over-month gain of 0.5%. And that estimate is according to Bloomberg consensus. That would equate to a year-over-year gain of better than 5%. The results are thought likely to have been boosted by Amazon's Prime Days, that's October 13th and 14th, an event that was matched by most of its competitors.
Thank you, Paul, for the update. And I'm going to give you the latest as of this morning from Ameriprise Financial. The S&P 500 index futures are higher by 1% on growing optimism for a coronavirus vaccine. The Europe Stoxx 600 is being led sharply higher by a 4.5 advance for the banking group. Oil is higher by more than 4% on hopes that OPEC will maintain current outputs, curbs to offset demand concerns. And we'll see where that goes, because that's going to have an impact on our gas prices here in the States. Shares of Moderna are advancing 17%, and I'm not surprised to see that in pre-market trading after the company said the COVID-19 vaccine was 94.5% effective. Thank goodness for that, in good news. And the year-to-date for the S&P 500 is a plus 12%. The Dow Jones year-to-date is a plus 5%, and the NASDAQ year-to-date is a plus 32%. As you can see, everything is pretty stable and holding firm. Stay with us. We're going to be right back. We will be going to our show called Your Money. Paul usually has a topic for us. Stay with us. We'll see you in a little bit. Thanks for staying with us. We're back with Your Money, and we're going to switch to Paul. Paul usually has an interesting topic. Take it away, Paul.
A new look to year-end planning in 2020. At this time of year, you often hear advice to take steps before the end of the year to limit your tax liability. Yet 2020 is a unique year in a variety of ways. While many of the normal rules regarding managing income and timing deductions still apply, new provisions for 2020 have been implemented by the Coronavirus Aid, the Relief and Economic Security CARES Act, and that may impact your year-end tax planning. So consider any of these actions to make, if any of these will make sense for you, and as always, talk to your tax advisor before you take any action. So number one, reconsider required distributions. Required minimum distributions from workplace retirement plans or IRAs are optional due to the CARES Act this year. If you haven't yet taken your RMD this year, you can let your money continue to grow. If you have taken your RMD, there is a 60-day window where you can redeposit those funds in your IRA and eliminate the claim to an RMD. As another option, if you have earned income from work, you may want to take all or part of the RMD for this year and invest all or some of the proceeds into a Roth IRA. This allows you to build up your Roth savings, which ultimately can qualify for tax-free distributions later in retirement and aren't subject to RMD rules. Something else to consider is to capitalize on your deductions. The standard deduction for 2020 is $12,400 for a single person and $24,800 for married couples filing a joint return. At that level, most people claim a standard deduction rather than itemizing deductions. In 2020, you can claim an additional $300 for cash contributions to qualified charities. Be sure to take advantage of that opportunity before the end of the year. This is a one-time deduction for those who don't itemize. Also consider taking early withdrawals if needed. So if your financial circumstances have been directly affected by COVID-19, such as a job loss, or you or others in your household have been diagnosed with the virus, you can tap to your retirement savings. If you have not yet reached the age of 59 and a half, you can do so without penalty if you qualify. But the early distributions must occur before the year end. The tax burden associated with these distributions can be spread out over 3 years. Also consider harvest investment gains or losses. Given the market's volatility this year, you may want to consider harvesting capital losses. This is accomplished by selling investments in a loss position and using those losses to offset gains you realize when selling other investments. Capital losses can also be used to reduce up to $3,000 of earned income in any given year. Finally, be prepared for changes. With an election here, there could be changes in the tax laws that might impact everything from tax brackets to the estate tax laws starting in 2021. This may be an additional consideration as you make your year-end plans, so be sure to consult with your financial advisor, and tax advisor before finalizing your decisions. And I can't emphasize that last point enough. Before you take any action on anything reported on, please review that with your financial advisor and your tax advisor before you take any actions whatsoever. If you like additional information, feel free to contact me directly. I can be reached at 708-226-3412.
And thank you, Paul. For Paul Munichel with Ameriprise Financial, myself, Ron Jankowski, we wish you good investment day.